Welcome back to Satisfactory in our Sandy start. Today we're going to be getting on with the technology tree and starting to basically increase what we can do. Between the episodes I've done a few things. One is I've put down minor mark 1s on each of our resource spots, so one on the iron, one on the copper and one on the limestone all the way up there. From that I've put near the iron and copper a smelter, a single smelter, that's two there but the second one isn't in use yet. And a storage box after them, just so we have a buffer if should the worst happen. So we're getting iron ingots. Now you'll notice the iron belt here is only half full. It's got gaps. It's got gaps because of a few technology limitations at the start of the game. You have three types of nodes. You have pure nodes, you have normal nodes, and then I can't remember the name of the third one. Let's just call it limited for now. And they each produce different amount of resources. So if I have a look here at this pure node, which this got this minor mark 1 on, it produces 120 ore per minute. However, the belts that we have can only carry 60 ore per minute, so only half of that is in use. And you'll see this belt is full. However, from that, the smelter mark 1s can only deal with 30 per minute. So we're now only using, we're down to a quarter of what we can theoretically put out from one minor mark 1 is what can be carried on a belt. And since a belt can carry 60, like it's full here, but we're only producing 30 from this smelter, it's half full. And all the way back towards the base it's half full. So same thing's true anytime you get after a smelter. And initially, what you can't do is sort of combine multiple smelters together. That's why we need logistics, which is why it's selected at the top right of the screen as the current milestone, because from here, if I had a splitter, I could, first of all, dump out this 60 into two of these, and because each of these can process 30, I've just putting stuff in here manually as a sort of second step. Because this can each process 30, this belt will go at full speed into each of these, but of course we're still down to basically only half as much can be carried out of this miner because we don't have a better belt yet. That's fine. As long as I can get two smelters running, then I can then combine both of those back into 60 and from 30, and then fill this belt, meaning this can go at full speed for whatever this belt can actually carry. So with that started, only other thing I did was I hooked up the second biomass burner. Because we're getting to the point where the one just won't do it, I've got both of these going. These I've got 34 left and 47 left. I'm going to move out the biomass burners. You can't remove these as such, but you can build new ones. And I'm going to put them in a separate plant somewhere, just so that we don't have them interfering with our main kind of area. Other than that, the limestone just comes down here and goes into this storage box. I am not processing into concrete yet, but we will be doing that soon. And if I just go in here, you'll see there's an awful lot of limestone to be processed. That's going to be processed straight into concrete, at least by me manually first. But before I do that, I'm just going to quickly go in here and left click in, or shift left click in, some iron plate. That lets us send off our drone. And we can immediately, I should be able to, craft upgrades. Yeah, we can craft conveyor lifts, important for the stackable nature of what we're going to go for. And also, let's just get rid of that screen, and also conveyor mergers and conveyor splitters. And thankfully, both of those require stuff I already have, aside from some cables. So let me just get the cable sorted, and then we'll go and sort out our iron system. Okay, so let's sort this out. I just need to put a splitter in place back here somewhere, so let's just get rid of you. And we aren't going to put these on the foundation yet. We can obviously do that later. I'm just going to turn this around. I actually can just press Control to line things. But I'm going to turn it so that the input is coming from the output there. And we'll just line that up. There we go. And hopefully this is, yeah, it's enough distance apart to be able to put belts through here. And that means I can then pull a belt from this side, and I can just put it in there. I'm not going to worry about 90-degree belts, perfecting this just yet. It's fine to start off with until I put things on foundations, and then I'll pay a bit more attention to them. So that is then feeding two of these, so then we need to just basically merge them back together afterwards. I'm going to move this out of the way because I need to just get a bit more room here, and then merger. So we're going to merge from two different directions, so let's just feed it here. And then we'll feed this in, and this in, And we have everything we need. At this point, I think I'm going to remove the storage box from here. I'm just going to, whoops. I'm just going to go straight with belt. We can almost put a storage box, that's why. We can almost put a storage box on the other end. There we go. Okay, so that should start filling at full capacity, which it is. So everything is fine there. This, once we upgrade this belt type to the Mark II belt, we'll be able to produce twice as much, but right now it can't. So the other option is, remember we have 2 iron spots, so if you want a second belt going in, you can exactly do that, and just replace these with a second miner Mark I. The incomes are iron, so let's just get back to the base. I'll be happy once we get our sort of the running upgrade to our legs. And yeah, we got the same problem at this end, so we just need to split things back out again, at least temporarily. And this is why you might want that second miner Mark I if you want both of these to run. However, I think these only produce, yeah, they can only deal with 30 per minute input, so they'll run at full speed anyway. You would need another set of 2 to basically change that. There's Dawn, and let's just split at this end. So yeah, just again, we are going to split on this, and then we will just split on here, and bring this side out, and this side out. Okay, that's that done, and that will start producing pretty much permanently now. On this side, we have this box, and it is filling up with copper ingots. Copper, there's not really all that much to do with copper at the very start of the game, except for wire. So you may as well set up some kind of constructor here, and spin that around. What do we actually need for this? We need reinforced iron plate, which we should be able to make manually, at least to get a few. Reinforced iron plate needs some screws, which we can make huge amounts of. So three reinforced iron plates until we get the expanded recipes. And now I can put a constructor down. So I will just line this up with everything else. Yes, that will do. And now I'm going to feed that in. And on this side, in fact, hang on. I'm going to get... Oh, no. Ooh, do I have enough storage space for this before I do that? I don't. So for now, that's fine. I'll just select wire here, and it'll start producing, hopefully. Oh, it needs power. That's why. There we go. Yep, there it goes. It's going to start producing wire, and I can put a box after it as needed. Now you'll see I have all these trees in the way. I want to get rid of them. That's why I've chosen obstacle clearing next rather than anything else. And this is going to just require some simple stuff. I just need to get some more reinforced iron plate, and then more rods, basically, and nothing much else. So I'll get that sorted, and that'll give us a chainsaw that we can use to clear trees. And that's quite important, at least for me, to get the ground nice and clear. Back in a second, once I've sorted that out. Here goes. We should have enough rods there, and push the button, and off goes the drone. We should then be able to hopefully craft a chainsaw at the equipment station. Yes, chainsaw, and that's good. We also can get some beacons, of course, and yeah, nothing much else here I want to actually get. So some cable, so 160 screws for one chainsaw. That's are we just putting screws on the edge of the saw? Okay, so I guess I need to just quickly change, basically craft those. Give me a second to craft my chainsaw. Wow, 160 screws. Okay, one chainsaw is now crafted. It does take biofuel, not biomass. However, I thought it used to be able to take biomass. Maybe I'm misremembering. Anyway, forgetting as we also call it. There is also some other stuff we can actually go for. Let's just see if we get... there we go, biofuel. Yeah. So I chose to go to tier 2 before doing tier 1. So we do actually need this utility tier 1. It improves things anyway because we get biofuel, which is useful for feeding fuel, any sort of power, system. So we'll just go for that, I think, and that is now the active milestone. That does tend to need a lot of wire, but wire does tend to be produced quite quickly. And of course, you can always produce more just by making it yourself, and it tends to be produced, again, even when you do it manually, really quite quickly. We're also going to need some rods and plate, but as you can imagine, these are also being produced automatically, so we'll get both of those going. And I'm going to need a few more, but I'll go and craft those. And then we'll get this utility thing crafted, which will give us walls, among other things, and get that going. So, active milestone. Yes, I guess. Can I just shift-click in? Not until it comes back. Okay. Time to craft stuff. And there we go. We should be able to dump in everything and get utility. There it goes. While that's going off, I just wanted to quickly check my research. Yep, analysis of alien carapace is complete. Please choose a new specimen on the left. So we will go for flower petals, I guess. That just needs 10 input, so we'll just grab some from here. Got 90 of the stuff, so it's easy enough. Can I not choose? There we go. Begin analysis. That's only 4 minutes. Cool. Now, to run an automatic concrete manufacturing like here takes too much power with the amount of machines I've got. I haven't got that many. Remember, I've only really got 3 constructors. I've only got 4 smelters going, and it's already hitting the limit of those burners. So we're going to go and quickly hop down some more power. Power, biomass burner. I guess I can turn that whichever direction that I like. It shouldn't matter that much. The only thing I've got to just watch out for style reasons is just that I can get to the power port, and let's just put that there, I think. And I tended to need either 3 or 4 of these things, so I'm probably going to place 4, and we'll see where we get from that. There's 4 of them. We're going to clear these trees very shortly. And you can see I can configure this, and all I really need is pretty much some way of connecting them all together. And remember that your power poles can only connect 4 total, and that includes all the connections to it. So that means I probably want one of these per 2, not per 4. Okay, and then we'll put a third one out here, just connect it to the rest of the network. I don't necessarily need anything specific for that. And then we should be able to just connect everything up. So you to you, you to you, and to you, and to this, and to that, and to this line, and then this from the rest of the network. 3 to 4 there. Probably want to go to another node. That's 4 of 4. We can always rearrange it later. Okay, so instead of running them in here, I'm now just going to go and take this out. This will shut down the factory, or at least it would if I didn't have my inventory full of stuff that stuff that this can actually not deal with. Let me just grab some biofuel, biomass even, I should say. We should be going to biofuel shortly. I just want to make sure I have a little bit more running. There he goes. So that should give me the extra power I need to start up concrete production. Let's start you back up by connecting this to here. And good, you haven't shut down. That's a good sign. And I will just dump all this limestone back into the box. In fact, I was going to remove the box. I will remove the box. Okay, and we'll just connect this back up. And I'm going to put the box down on the other side. Storage, organization, yes, and I'm just going to put it facing this way. I don't really need to do too much about this right now, just other than putting it here. And then I'm just going to dump all the limestone back into the box. I'll need to deal with it later, but that's fine for now. Yep, okay, so all that can go in there. And we'll come back to it later. Now, from here... yeah, we got a research project. My drone's back, which means I can start another project. Utility's now done, which means I get lots of doors and walls and stuff, but I should be able to make biofuel from biomass. Okay, so why don't we just grab 200 biomass and just put that into some biofuel. And then what I'm going to do is just trial that out, and I think that can be used in the biomass burner, even though it's not called biomass. Let's just make sure that being the case, however. So I'm just going to split it. I'm just going to split that a few ways. I'm going to put 13 in the box, because we're going to come back for the chainsaw in a second. And then I'm just going to just stack everything else up. So over here, we're just going to switch across to using it. Yep, it's perfectly fine. Okay. And then once the biomass basically burns out of these, in fact I can probably even convert it across if I can stop them. So we now have 3 biomass burners over there running. Can we actually remove it? You won't let me... Let's just put them in standby. I should be able to remove it. Yeah. Okay. And we shut them down explicitly. I'll convert them back across the biofuel. Away we go. However, in the meantime, we can get a chainsaw. And we can get our biofuel for said chainsaw and put that in my inventory. There we go. And you can see it just powers from the biofuel at the bottom left or whatever I've got in here. So if I want to get rid of this tree, I can. Yep. And it just does things in an area around it. So you don't have to worry about that too much. You don't have to go down individual trees, etc. You'll see we're getting wood and leaves. Or at least I would if I could select this. That's basically getting also able to be converted back over into biofuel. So clearing your base also means you get more fuel. And why can't I clear you for some reason? That's annoying. I may have to solve that one later. However, that's pretty clean as is. I'm just going to get rid of these over here. And then I'm good to go, I think, pretty much. One there. Okay. The game almost crashed, but aside from that, come on, go through. There we go. Cool. Everything's nice and clean now, and I have a chainsaw. Just a tip: as long as you can find something that you can select nearby, it gets rid of everything else that's placeable in the engine that's nearby. So there goes that tree. And that's straightforward for us to do. You'll notice I've also got rid of these rocks. There's 2 big giant rocks here, and that's exactly the same. Just select some leaves that are on the floor that are nearby, and you can get rid of rocks. So that's a nice, easy way to clean up your base. So from here, we can continue with Tech Tree, but one of the things you're going to want pretty soon is to get to additional tiers from Tier 1 and Tier 2. That means getting the space elevator, which means... First of all, getting 500 concrete, 250 plate, 400 rods, and 1500 cable. The cable is actually not the cable, sorry, wire. That's actually the easiest part. The part that'll be slow will generally be the rods and plate. So I'm going to craft those, and then we're going to be able to put that space elevator down. It is immense, so you're going to want some space. And there is an actual space over there. There is a lake, I guess, over there, so we can just put it down and have it over in that direction, I think. So how much do we have, just out of interest? Well, we have a fair amount. How much is that of our total? Well, we've got nearly all the plate. We just need the wire and the rods, pretty much. The concrete is actually pretty fast to actually create yourself if you need to actually get more of it. You can see I've already got like 130 of it. I can create even more than that. So yeah, all good. Okay, flower petals is complete, so then we can choose beryl nuts, and I think I usually have some in my inventory. Yes, I do, so we'll start the analysis of that as well. And you can see basically each of these starts you down the line of custom equipment that you can actually research. We're not going to be able to see too much of an effect right now, I don't think. There's anything new. Is there anything new I've picked up in here? Not really, no, so that's fine. We'll come back to that later once we've got a few more of those things researched. I've crafted even more biofuel. Once you start getting wood from the chainsaw rather than leaves, it's much faster to process that into biomass and therefore into biofuel. So everything is running. And how close am I now to my space elevator task? I have most of the concrete and just the rest of the wire and rods to go. So, yep. We can't really do anything to speed that up other than produce a parallel line. So I just have to wait a little while. Well, I kind of hurried up manually, I suppose, so I went and go ahead and did that, grabbed some ore and processed it into rods, and now we should be ready to place our space elevator. We can move this later, so don't worry about it. It is going to be huge, however. Yep, as you can see, there we go. So we want you see those orange inputs? We want those facing our base roughly. Oh, thereabouts, and if we just put it around about here, that seems like it's fine. This is one of the most awesome constructions in the game. It's a huge block and it has quite a nice animation when it starts up. So off it there goes. All that stuff's flying out of my inventory and creating the space elevator. At which point we should get a tether dropping down from above. See, right there. And this, yep. I wish other blocks did this kind of animation. It's immense. We should get a tether dropping all the way down. It's dropping down now. I'm being anchored at this end. And basically supplying stuff into this space elevator is how we get to future tiers. There we go. And it should lock in place. There we go. And down comes the elevator itself. You never really get a chance to ride it. I don't think it's not even interactable, but it's a very, very awesome animation. Anyway, in here, we need to basically do 75 reinforced iron plate and 50 rotors, and that will get us to unlock tier 3 and tier 4. And we are clearly not there yet. You could craft this stuff manually, but we can't even craft rotors yet. It's going to be another part of our tech tree. So in here, let's take a look at the next tech tree item. Can add some more personal storage, some more inventory space, that is. Conveyor walls will be very useful to get conveyors in and out of places. That is going to be quite cheap. A lot of these recipes are now quite cheap, but we've got things going. But you'll see here is our ability to craft rotors. Needs plate, rods, cable and wire, and allows rotor crafting, but also the assembler where you can craft 2 inputs into a single output. Otherwise, it's relatively straightforward stuff. So that's the main sort of thing we're going to go for. Although, given that this is so cheap and I get some inventory space, I'm tempted, but no, I think I'm going to go for part assembly. So in here we go. And you see at the top right, all the stuff I need to craft, or at least wait for it to be crafted for me. Okay, at this point in the game, it's a good point to craft an object scanner. I didn't really use it that much in my last playthrough, but it is kind of handy. You can right-click on it. You can see at the bottom left, it's scanning for different things. You can scan for power slugs, scan for mushrooms, nuts, berries, crash sites, and researching the stuff in the MAM gets you the ability to scan for things. In this case, we want to probably scan for crash sites, and yeah, so we'll see if I even get close to them. But you just have this in your inventory while you're actually running around, and it's looking pretty good. It does let you use this interface to scan for things, but I can only really scan for power slugs there, so yeah, there's no real point right now. So yeah, I'm just going to carry this around and see if I can actually find any crash sites. Oh, wait a second. Is that a beep? Is that a beep? Do we hear a beep? I need to get a little bit closer, clearly. Oh. Yep, there's one around here somewhere. Oh, that's a power slug I'm on at the moment. Yep, it's probably going to be up there, I assume. Yeah, there's one, you see, right there. So that's going to be not the easiest thing to get to in the world, has to be said. So I may want to go up and around and get to it that way. And there's our power slug and some bees. It's always bees, at least in this area of the map. And yep, come on, come on. Ugh, gonna have to... One down. Come on, I don't want to fall off this bridge. Ow. One more? One more. There we go. Cool. So we get another alien carapace, and we get a green power slug. There are multiple tiers of these. I think there is yellow, and there's a third one, probably going to be red, I assume. And our base is right below us. I guess I could drop down and die, but hey, what I explore a little bit here for a while. We could obviously use our object scanner to look for different things. In particular, I would like a crash site, but I'm not sure if there's any particularly close by here. So I need to just run around for a little bit, I guess, and just see. Ooh. It did go quiet that direction. Bit more exploration needed. And when we get back with our power slug, we can drop it, I think, straight into here. Yep, we just need one of them to get started with the research. And there we go. I also picked up some bacon agaric mushrooms, and that will be useful to research next. But yeah, the green power slug mainly to build craft the overclocking modules, whatever they're called. And as you can see, biomass is much easier to create from wood than it is from leaves. From here, we actually just want to increase our technology level, so we should have enough from what was crafted while I was away. Yeah, well, close enough. I just need to get a couple more bits and pieces. There's about 50 60 to more to go on those, so that will be quite quick. And again, just finishing that off with manual crafting, and then we can just dump all this in. So there we go. We get the ability to now, there we go, craft the updated version of the constructor. That's the assembler that can take in 2 inputs. So we can then produce all kinds of stuff with that. Yep, and we should be able to make rotors now, I think. Yep, there we go, at the bottom. So we need lots of screws and rods for that, but otherwise we can make rotors manually. And we can also make reinforced iron plate manually. Now, you can make them automatically, but the amounts that we need for this tier, unlocking 3 and 4, is not huge. So I don't think... Let's just take a look. It's just 50 and 75. It's not huge amounts. We just need rods and screws for the rotors, and it's screws and plates for the reinforced iron sheets. So for both of those, of course, you need screws. And we don't have any automatic way of producing them, but they are pretty fast. So I think I'm just going to do this first set manually. Tier 5 and 6 is another matter entirely, of course, but this starting set isn't too bad. And with a bit of spacebar holding down with heavy weight, we're able to basically make more rotors, and we have enough to craft the tier 3 to 4 upgrade. So I made the rest of the reinforced iron plates fairly straightforward. I've extended out the foundation while things were crafting, and we'll continue to do that. We can replace the space elevator like any other block, as long as you've got enough inventory space to hold the components. So let's put all of our reinforced iron plates and all of our rotors, pull it into seal mode, and it'll seal the box. Okay, and then we can pull it into send mode, and off it will go. And it should head up, I think. And off it goes. So that should unlock tier 3 and tier 4 for us. And yep, there we go. That's tier 5 and 6. Tier 7 is also in game as well, but for tier 5 and 6 you need 500 modular frames and 150 motors, neither of which we're going to do manually. The motors do require rotors and stators, so we need to create those, as well as everything else needs to make them. So we've got lots of stuff to do, and we need to automate it to get that done, really. We can get away with this first step, but not the other ones. However, we should be able to see tier 3 and tier 4 in our research tree now. Yep, we can. And we can see coal power, which requires me to be able to go... Well, it'll let me go and scan for coal. So I just need a few things for that. Obviously, more reinforced iron plates and more rotors. So it's punishing me now for doing it manually. But we need to sort out some kind of automated way of doing that. That's going to be the next episode, I think, just because I'm running out of time a little bit. And then in tier 4, we have steel production. Lots of extra change in there, in particular the Miner Mark II. However, Logistics Mark II is probably the first one I want to upgrade, because this gets us the Conveyor Belt Mark II. Again, reinforced iron, and again rotors, mainly because this lets us speed up that Miner Mark I. Right now I can just put down another Miner Mark I, and I will do that between the episodes. I'll put it on the second spot there, put another couple of smelters next to it, and then we'll get a second line in here. And we can technically overclock these, or we can add extra constructors to basically get iron plates and iron rods produced faster. But for the moment, it's sort of shaping up pretty well. I quite like it. What do you guys think? Put it in the comments down below, and feel free to click on like and click on the bell if you want notifications for more episodes like these. On the channel at the moment, I also have a new playthrough of a game called The Outer Worlds, which just came out, and that is very much a Fallout-like game. So if you're interested in those sort of things, do check it out. Otherwise, we'll see you next episode for some more Satisfactory. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.